You're listening to Evolving Moons Podcast
with Jess and Katie. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We're back again. Evolving Moons, new pod on women empowerment.
Yeah, continuing kind of. We started it with a whole women thing.
Finding boundaries, setting boundaries, being strong. What makes a strong woman. Yeah, what women have to deal with. What makes
women. I hope you enjoyed our stories.
Yeah.
I actually got some feedback from us telling the stories. It was cute.
That's real nice. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed that episode, and we have a new episode today kind of following that up about being a strong woman again, but like more finding your voice and like what it means to us to be empowered, how you can find that level of empowerment within yourself and become an empowered, fully realized woman.
So nice. I did a reading going into it, and this time I'm using the Layla and Olive Ophidia Rosa Tarot. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying. This is my favorite tarot deck. It is so beautiful. It was one I've talked about it on the podcast before, if you guys have been listening, but I splurged for this for myself because I was like, oh, I've been doing it for a long time, and I was like waiting. I was putting it off until I was serious about it, but it's so beautiful. But going into it, I was asking, how can we use our voices? Basic theme. There was a lot of questions that we kind of threw out there.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about just like finding your voice, using your voice, like how to find your voice, what to use your voice with, like
yeah. So that was like my basic vibe going on in my head.
Yeah.
And the card I pulled is the Page of Swords, and this girl's artwork is just so beautiful. But it just looks like a smudge stick with some flowers and a candle and some kind of branch. I wonder what the branch means. Wow. I don't know if you can see on there.
It's super cute.
It's really beautiful. But basically, it's interesting that I pulled this card because I'm just a witch, So, but it's very on theme with what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it is.
This card, basically the essence of this card is both a new ideas and a communication card. And it talks about being you're going through a stage in your life that's very kind of exploratory.
Like experimental maybe.
Experimental, yeah. And it talks about like bringing these new ideas to light and how you can use your voice to the way I was looking at it,
right.
How you can use your voice to communicate all these things that are going on. And there's also a part to it that talks about like keeping yourself informed in order to utilize your voice in the best way that will help propel your personal growth.
Yeah, like educate yourself first before you speak on something, or if you have a bunch of ideas, like research it a little bit before you start talking about it. And then it talked about like kind of looking at different platforms to communicate on.
Yeah, the main thing was using this new way of communication to put your opinions out there for people. And however that might be, writing about it, making a podcast. Or it even said, like, just using your voice more on social media, things like that. Things that make you uncomfortable that you're not used to do them. Using your communication in a new way that might seem scary, but it's going to help with your growth, basically.
I liked that it said the podcast one.
Because I
feel like we did that,
LOL us.
We had a bunch of... we talked about why we made the podcast, but you and I would always have conversations about experiences we were having or issues that were bothering us, issues that we just wanted to discuss with each other, and then we were like, we're literally a podcast. Like
we literally did that. We had so much to say, and we're using our voice, and it's a new creative experiment. It's been a huge experiment for us.
Yeah.
And
also, I feel like personally, I have been speaking out way more about things because not necessarily because of the podcast. Maybe it is because of the podcast. I don't know. But ever since we started the podcast, I feel like on all my social media platforms, I've been way more vocal about things that bother me. I've been way more informed, too. I'm spending a lot of time researching things, a lot of time talking to other people about it, getting different opinions, and then fact-checking a lot of things. And
it's been pretty cool. You're doing a lot of research. You're keeping yourself informed, and that's good.
I feel like...
And it seems like...
useful.
You've definitely been doing it more than you
I
were
had before. Yeah.
And I think it's definitely because you've been finding your voice
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah.
Growing, glowing, and thriving.
That's so nice. So we're going to start off by talking about what empowerment means to us and just like defining that word, I guess, because I feel like we should define everything that we're always talking about because we may be using it in a different way than how you're interpreting it while listening, or a different way than what it actually means. So we'll read the actual definition and then we shall say ours. So empowered means having the knowledge, confidence, means, or ability to do things or make decisions for oneself. That is the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of empowered. And
it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. Under that, I just wrote some notes. I wrote strong, confident, radiates good, positive energy, smart, not afraid, loud about what they believe in. And I feel like the loud about what they believe in part is the one that we're really talking about today, which goes back to the whole boundaries thing, you know, like speaking up for yourself and what you need and what you want and what makes you comfortable, what makes you happy, all that. All of that is being empowered.
That's what it means to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Being empowered for me, I feel like how you feel is so important.
Yeah.
Because like you can say that you are empowered and like maybe mentally, I don't know, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the feeling of feeling empowered is just like so strong that people are going to they're going to feel that energy off of you.
Yeah.
So really feeling it is so different than just like saying, oh, I'm informed and I'm using my voice.
Yeah. I feel like you definitely can tell when a woman or a man too is empowered, you know, like they just give off that like ultra confident but not in a cocky way.
Just like a spiritual
like
bitch.
Like you're just like, wow, she has
like
her shit
like
together.
They walk into the room and you're just like, you feel it. Like you feel their, that's how I feel about Milana Snow. I've met Milana Snow twice now. And she is just like a goddess. And she walks into the room and I'm just like taken back. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it makes me fangirl in a way that I cannot even describe, because it's like, I don't know, you see like your celebrity crush out in public and you're like, oh my god, fangirling.
Yeah.
But versus seeing like a strong, spiritual, like just wonderful woman and they bring that presence into the room, like that is what I aspire to be.
Totally.
I hope people feel that way when I walk into a room.
You know what? I actually had a teacher. This is like a different type of like vibe. She's not spiritual at all. She was a business teacher. Like she was. I took a class and it was small business startup and business management. Mm-hmm. And her name's Heidi Diamond. Shout out Heidi.
That's nice.
She's the head of business department at West Valley.
Okay.
But she owned like 3 businesses. She was like a mom. She was so smart and just so soft spoken, but very educated, very pointed in what she was saying. She knew how to articulate what she wanted to get across so well. And like, I don't know, she just, every day she'd walk in, she'd look hella cute in her little business outfit. Like she was just like a normal middle-aged woman, you know, but she's walking in, she's like, has a little business briefcase and like has a little blazer on and like looks like a boss ass female, walks in, just does her class, answers questions beautifully. I always loved how like, there'd be like some disruptive people in the class. I always loved how she handled it. Like, she was just always on top of her shit, and she's a business owner, and she's a mom, and she's a professor. Like, she just seemed to me like she had everything figured out, and I feel like that is an empowered woman vibe that they give off.
I was just gonna say, I feel like an empowered woman, they carry themselves in a certain way.
Yes.
And it's just, it comes off as graceful, well put together.
Yeah.
And it's because, she would do her class. It's because, she is informed. Like, she knows how to use her voice. She's well informed.
Yeah.
And she's using it in the way where it's helping other people, and also probably bettering herself.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from that, what you just said.
Also, it's like they're totally not offensive. Like they come in and they're talking about what they want to talk about. They're telling you things that you may not agree with, but they're not doing it in a way that's like, she never would yell at somebody, even if she was having a disagreement with someone in the class. It was always she's so poised, like just, here's my opinion. Here's 18 facts to back it up. Mm-hmm. I'll listen to what you have to say though, because I'm also open-minded. I'm also caring. I'm also generous
Mhm.
and like want to hear you out. Like just all around, just such a good person.
Yeah.
But in that really
I think-
woke way.
Yeah, I think it's really important when you feel like you're empowered and you have this voice and these opinions that you want to use, you portray them in a way that's not, I'm going to shove it down your throat and like you're
Yeah.
wrong and I'm not going to listen to you and I'm going to yell about it kind of way. There's a difference between like informing other people and preaching.
Totally.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, you can preach all you want, but if you're not well informed, or you might sound like a fucking idiot,
Also, like people that are empowered, they want to uplift others and bring them to that same level that they're at. And they don't do that by degrading somebody or by shitting on their opinions or by telling them that they're wrong. They do that in a very nice, like, oh, I see how you could think that way, but have you considered this? And then it's a discussion. It's like a learning opportunity or a teaching opportunity, I guess, for them. Like, it's never mean. It's never putting down someone. It's not preachy at all. Like, and I love that. I wish I was better at that. I feel like
even if there's women who are already there, I feel like there's never, I mean, maybe they do have kind of a little bit of moment to give themselves, you have to appreciate when you've come so far, but there's never a moment where you're just like, wow, I'm so empowered and like, I'm so great and I'm gonna inspire all these people and I'm like perfect. I feel like they never really have that moment. They're constantly learning and growing and doing the best they can to like become a better person.
Yeah, and they're
their best self.
Willing to listen to others, willing to learn from others. Yeah, totally. We have been talking a little bit for this whole beginning part about how to show your empowerment or how to become empowered through communication, through speaking up, through finding your voice. So now we kind of want to transition and talk about other ways that you can feel more empowered or other characteristics of empowered people. So our first one is standing up for yourself and saying no.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a really big one.
I feel like we kind of talked about that in our last episode, like setting boundaries and that, like why those are important.
Yes.
And being able to say no is a skill.
It really is. Yeah.
Because, a lot of people think like, oh, I want to keep people happy and I want to do the best that I can and I want to help people. But, you can't always do that.
Right.
And it's hard, it's really hard when you are so comfortable in a spot and you are in a cycle, trying to make people happy all the time. Like, at least I struggle with that.
Yeah.
I always want to make people happy, so I do like whatever they want.
Well, also you don't want people to be mad at you ever.
Like,
it's a mesh between like I want everybody to be happy, but also like I don't want any drama. I want it to be easy.
And it's worse when you like are doing all those things to please other people, but in the end it's like detrimental to yourself. Like you're hurting yourself in the end.
Totally.
And that can that's I think the opposite of being empowered.
It is.
Like you feel like you're this great person, but really you're hurting yourself.
You're destroying yourself.
Yeah. And you can't really be your full best self when you are worried about other people. I mean, that's kind of fucked up, but you have to worry about yourself at some point.
Yeah, there's definitely a line between like being selfish and then doing things for yourself because you need to for your mental and physical health. Like saying no is not just being a bitch all the time and being like, no, I'm not going to do that just because I don't want to. It's like you need to know when that line's being crossed of like, if I do this, it's going to hurt me, or if I do this, it's going to waste too much or spend too much of my energy and like I won't be able to recover, or like this is going to be harmful to my mental state. Like those situations, you need to know when to say no.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you. Okay. Our next one is have a positive outlook. So when I wrote this, I was just thinking of like all the women that I find that like to be empowered. Like when I think of somebody who's an empowered person, I always think of them in a very positive light. Like they always seem happy. They always seem like willing to help, but also just like willing to listen, there for you. How they speak is in a positive way. So I put that, have a positive outlook, because I feel like being empowered, you need to be able to look at the good in situations, even if the situation is bad, or like be able to just learn from a situation rather than kind of like harp on it.
Yeah, and I think that's also a skill,
It
like
is.
being able to take situations that would normally kind of break you down and being able to see it as a learning experience
Yeah.
and look at it like what can come from this, what positive outlook can I take on this situation, and that's hard.
It is.
I think that's something that we can all learn to do, and
I think all of these things are skills, which is why like not everyone seems to be so empowered or so fully realized, is because these take a while to learn and like to fully get and practice it. And
you need to like come out of that shell, and like practice these things. And I think that like practicing these things in small doses, I think are great stepping stones to, like when you're growing and trying to trying to grab your like power. I don't know. I can't fucking talk right now.
No, yeah, but I know what you're saying. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're younger, when you're growing up and like a bunch of shit happens to you all the time, I feel like, like I had the hardest time in high school. Like everything that happened to me, it just like broke me down. And I never took the time to just be like, you know what, this is happening to me and this is really hurting me and it fucking sucks. Like it really sucks. However, I'm going to do this instead. Or like, this is what I'm going to take away from it. Or yes, all of these things are bad, but here's something that's good. I never really learned how to do that until the end of high school and really after high school.
And I think that you have been slowly healing from that, and I feel like that's starting. It shows.
Yeah.
The growth that you have achieved is starting to show, which is really
nice.
I
definitely did carry that around for a long while. I think like all the bullying and like the pain. I really wasn't confident, and like I do feel that now I've just kind of been like, that happened, but instead of thinking about it all the time or letting it affect me all the time, I'm going to do other things and grow and help people not feel like that. Or like I love talking about it now with other people because I feel like I can help, or like teach, I guess, which is cool. The next one is similar. It's choosing not to be the victim. So that's kind of like what we were just talking about, along with being positive, is like instead of choosing to feel sorry for yourself or choosing to talk to people about bad things that have happened to you, you choose to fight through. You don't just lay down and take the situation that's coming to you. You fight up against it if you think it's wrong or if it's hurting you or if you're in a position that you shouldn't be in. You shouldn't just be like, oh, well, I'm stuck here. Like, poor me. It's like, no, I'm going to get myself out of it. I'm going to be stronger than that. I'm going to be empowered.
Yeah. I think that, I've had a lot of conversations with women about this. Is, instead of playing the victim, you have to learn how to heal and grow from that yourself. You can't look for, that satisfaction from other people or from the people who hurt you. You can't be looking for that apology and think that that will help you. Totally. That's something that comes from yourself, and that's part of like not playing the victim is. Learning how to grow from that.
Yes, basically. I love that. Like, I feel like a lot of people, like it just came to my mind as relationships. Like when you break up with somebody or someone breaks up with you, you always want closure. You always want to have a talk about like what didn't work or like why did this happen or why can't we work out or like all this stuff. But that doesn't really actually do anything for you. Like maybe you'll feel better in the moment, but does it make it any less painful? No. Like, does it make it not a breakup? No, you still broke up. You still have to grieve that loss. And I feel like being empowered, not being a victim, is definitely being able to heal yourself. Like you are your strength. You are all the love that you need. And that's definitely a hard one to learn too.
And I think that goes the same for like traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
It's like, that happened, and a lot of times people are looking, for answers, and they want to talk to the wherever the trauma came from, but really it's just all the things we've been talking about in all of our episodes. It's like letting go, setting boundaries, being able to say no, and being able to like not play that victim card and just growing on your own and healing within yourself.
Totally. Okay. Oh, I like these last couple. Surround yourself with empowered people and empower others.
That's really nice.
I feel like most empowered people hang out with each other. You know, like.
I mean, we hang out with each other.
Yeah. I like that. But, you know, like, there's always, like, these really powerful female, like, icons, you know, and it's like they're all friends. Like,
yeah, like all the women I follow on social media, and I'm just like, hi, can I be your friend and hang out with you guys?
But also they all hype each other up, like, and if they're not all empowered, they definitely bring each other onto that level.
Yeah, being able to like uplift each other and just like surrounding yourself with women like that. I mean, you can just surround yourself with people like that, but being a woman, I think it is so important to surround yourself with like-minded women who are all like learning and growing together, because it is just so wonderful to like watch the people around you grow, and then like also having a space for yourself to grow with them, and like sharing experiences and knowledge and just learning from each other, and that's always so nice.
Also, people that you look up to. Like, hanging out with people that you look up to is so cool. Like, when you admire your friends for certain things or, like qualities that they have, I think that that's so awesome. Like, I really don't like the whole, like, thing or stereotype, I don't know what it is, stigma that, like, girls have to compete with each other all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's such a harmful thing. Like, you should be able to just admire somebody, even if you think that, you know, like, you wish you could be like them, you're a little bit jealous. Like, that's a good thing. Like, strive to be that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hang out with them, see what makes them that way. It doesn't need to be a negative thing if somebody's doing something a little bit better than you or something that you'd rather be doing.
I think that is very brave, I think, to acknowledge that this person is acting a certain way, and you know, it's positive and I like that. I'm attracted to it, not in like a sexual way, but like there's something pulling me to act like that, I guess.
Right.
But that's just you telling yourself like, oh, I have room to grow, and like this is the way I want to grow in.
Yeah.
And this is like, it's a good example for yourself almost.
Also, people, I feel like that comes across as like, you're comparing yourself to other people, but really it's introspective. It's like, this is something that I don't have and I see it somewhere else and I want to be like that. It is definitely like a very internal moment that you get to be like, this is different from myself and I really like it.
Yeah. And I think this is more important. It's important to say that it's like, it's a mental kind of thing. It's not like a physical thing. Like you probably shouldn't be looking at people and being like, oh, like people always say that's bad. Like, girls on social media, like I want to look like her.
No,
like,
this is definitely it's quality.
It's like qualities, like character,
personality
like ways you want to, how you want to
carry yourself.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
this is like you're acknowledging that you have like room to grow, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so our last one is having high standards and knowing your worth.
Yes, I think that this is top of the stepping stone list.
Yes.
Of becoming like an empowered bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been saying like these are all little steps that you can take every day, like to kind of grow yourself and get yourself out of your comfort zone and like work towards becoming an empowered person, kind of like stepping into your power. Mm-hmm. That was a term I was trying to think of earlier when I couldn't talk. That was it. Stepping into your power. That's what I was trying to think of. Mm-hmm. But sorry, I had to sneeze. I think we could put it out. But knowing your worth, I think, is just the number one thing that you should be striving for.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I think it goes back and hits every point that we just talked about, you know, like the saying no, the positive outlook thing, like empowering others, uplifting others, hanging out with people that you want to be like, not comparing yourself to other girls. All of that is knowing your worth. Mm-hmm. You know, like you have to acknowledge what you do and don't deserve in life, where you want to be, how people are treating you, how you need to be treated, all of that.
I think that so many girls and women struggle with that daily.
Yeah.
And you see that in, you know, the way they let other people treat them. Mm-hmm. You know, like the things that they do for, you know, significant others or just friends or even at work, you know, it's like people, you can only take so much shit, you know, like you have to be able to stand up for yourself and like do the right thing for yourself. You know, you can't keep making people happy all the time. And that goes for every relationship ever. Like, and we had a relationship episode. We talked about all the different kinds of relationships you can have with people.
Yeah.
You have to be
in all of them.
Yeah. In all of them, you have to know your worth, and that's a hard one.
Yeah, that is a really hard one. A lot of people struggle with that, and I think it's.
I currently struggle with that. I'm always struggling with that.
I think everybody.
But lately, I've been starting to put my foot down a little bit because I'm like, you get sick of it after a while, and you step into your power, and you realize your worth, and you're just like, okay, I'm not fucking doing this anymore.
Yeah,
which is a nice thing to do.
That in you recently.
It's been
I've been watching you come into that more and being like, you know what?
I feel like I had that.
You did,
and then I lost it, and now I'm like starting to get it back.
Regaining it.
There's a meme out there that I shared the other day. It was like, my moon was in Saturday and now it's in It's like orbiting back into Batty.
Yes, that's you.
That's me currently right now.
You're currently in your
That
Batty
doesn't
orbit.
really make sense, but it's funny.
It's in your Batty orbit. You're in your Batty orbit.
My moon's in my Batty orbit right now. Astrology 101, get at me.
I hate you.
It's funny. It's a funny one.
Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap up this little convo by talking about the thing that each of us do that makes us feel most empowered.
Oh, yes.
So mine's exercise. Mine is like, I don't know, I feel like I talk about working out all the time, but...
That's okay. It's something you enjoy doing.
I love it a lot.
It empowers you.
I have felt my most confident in life thus far once I fully, like, dedicated myself to the gym and, like, really committed to working out regularly, eating healthy regularly. Like, all the things evolving around fitness have made me feel so empowered. I feel strong. I feel confident. Mentally, I'm like, I have way more energy. I'm more awake during the day. I'm more focused. I look forward to working out. And even when I don't, like when I accomplish the workout, it just makes me feel great. And I want to hype other people up on it. I want to share it with everybody. Like, I found a voice through fitness too. You know, like I have my Instagram that I use and talk to other people in the fitness community, which is cool and not normally something I would do. I was embarrassed at first to share it. Like, I wasn't confident in my body, or like, I was like, oh, am I doing this exercise right? Are people going to judge me? And now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, there's hella people out there that were like me, that were just watching random videos of random girls they thought were cute or like whatever. And I share my food. I share everything. So I really feel empowered with the fitness thing that I've found.
It's nice.
Yeah, super thankful for it.
For me, I was trying to like find a way to put this into words earlier, but I guess it's just when my like spiritual wellness, like mind and body, are just like at its best. And when I say that, I mean, you know, like I love to pull cards. You know, we pull cards for the podcast. I pull cards on my own.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the base of it. But it's so much more than that. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm just pulling a random card. You know, it takes a lot of me to be able to do that, you know? And I feel at my best when I'm pulling cards, I'm meditating, I'm doing yoga, I'm like receiving energy healing.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm not feeling empowered, it's because I'm suppressing that. And it's usually because, you know, I'm trying to make other people happy. I don't want to seem weird. I'm embarrassed. But it's
like you're busy, or your focus is elsewhere.
My focus is elsewhere. But when I'm feeling the most empowered, it's like when I'm just embracing that and I'm being like my most true, authentic self. And I feel like people notice.
Yeah.
When I'm like that.
Well, you notice when other people are like that. Like, you talk
Yeah.
about Milana Snow all the time.
Oh
and
my
it's
God,
like,
I'm obsessed with her.
and that's why, you know, it's because she comes across, and that's why you're drawn to her, is because you find your empowerment in the same way that she does, or similar ways.
Similar. You know, yeah, I've been thinking about getting Reiki certified.
Like, oh, that's so cool.
Just
I actually know a girl that used to be my old neighbor that I just saw that she was like taking classes, and she's like first tier, first level certified, which is cool.
Yeah. Milana, she has like a class that she does. And I think I'm going to do it. I think the in-person, she has like in-person ones, and I think that's on pause right now.
Yeah.
So maybe once everything's lifted, I'm not in this, a lot of people that are like, oh, like I'm going to quit my job and be a Reiki practitioner. That's going to be my job. That's not my intention at all. And which is why I think I want to do it even more. You know, I would be interested in doing that. One, so I could like learn how to do that for myself and just like better myself.
Yeah.
And that's basically the main reason. Like, yeah, I would be down to do it on other people probably, and
Well, I
like
feel like it's
and
also
share
a
that.
fun growth thing for you.
Yeah.
It's something that you're interested in, and it's you stepping out of your boundary a little bit, you learning something new. It could tie back to the card, and it's not like necessarily a form of communication, but it's definitely a form of connecting with people.
It's a new way of like using my voice and like informing myself.
Yeah.
And the card that I pulled, it's like a call to do those things.
Yeah.
A lot of the things when you pull a tarot card, I feel like that's kind of how they come off. Is they show you this card is showing up in your life because it's a call to do what like the card is saying.
Right.
You know, it's acknowledging something that's going on, and then it's like you should go for it.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the tarot.
Yeah, they're kind of like a little thinker, you know. It's
I've really enjoyed the tarot. Like I would be down to study them more.
You should.
I've only been looking up the cards like as I've been pulling.
I feel like they're interesting because they're maybe like, I don't know anything really about cards, but to me they come off as more intense. Like the moon deck, like the oracle decks.
The oracle decks are very lighthearted.
Yeah, and these are more like, oh shit, like that actually like can mean something. And that's pretty cool.
And you can interpret them in different ways based off of the questions that you're asking, which is why it's such a complicated thing. Like people have been studying tarot for like forever, you know, and they're always like learning about them. And they have
I think that's also why it seems like more intense to me, is because it is so like historic and mystical, and like it's been used. So yeah, it's really cool. Okay, well,
are we done?
That was
okay. That was our empowerment, finding and using your voice, stepping into your power episode.
Yeah, hell yeah, we love it.
That was nice. We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Like, subscribe, comment, fucking add us. I don't know how to say it. All those great things.
We're great at advertising ourselves.
Share us. Anywho, we love you.
We love ya. We'll see you later.
See you later.
What empowerment.
Cheers me.